a little bit of a. It's probably why I've never switched because it was always a little different than what I was used to. But they made it pretty good. So it's actually. I think there's still a few little tweaks I'd like, but for the most part, it's really comfortable. And I asked the guys, I said, do I look any younger or faster in it? They said yes. So I feel like I might keep it.
Tom,
in relation to
how beneficial
face
is
mask
this first?
You talked about the face mask being different.
Yeah.
How does that relate in any way to your vision? And how important is that by position?
Well, everything is, it's like you've seen something a certain way for a long period of time. So I like, as much vision as possible, the peripheral vision. It's all important. It all matters. So, just making sure it's kind of similar to what the experience has always been. And like I said, there's still some tweaks to go, and I'm working it out. But overall, hopefully the helmet provides more protection. And I've been wearing a very old helmet for a long period of time, but it's worked pretty well too. So that's why I've been a little hesitant to change.
Maybe talk quickly, as silly as it might sound, is it important that you not have to turn your head, especially pre-snap, in terms of surveying the defense? Yeah,
definitely. And there's got to be obviously some protection over here because, fingers can get, hasn't happened too often in my career, but I've had a few hands get, through the mask a little bit. And, typically quarterbacks have much more open, like receivers probably do with the vision. But, the more you can have, the better. It's not quite going to be like the old Sean Landetta, punter one where you hit the one bar. But, it provides enough. But I really like it. It's been a good transition, smooth transition, which is all I could ask for.
Tom, how beneficial can this first preseason on the road game be for you guys? The noise, the environment, the other guys?
It's another important step, and I think you play 4 preseason games, and everyone's getting lots of different reps. I think this week has mimicked much more of a regular season week. And we still had quite a few meetings and stuff at night, which we don't have as much during the season, but just in terms of the install and scouting reports and getting to know our opponents, we've had extra time to watch our own film study. So I think everyone likes to feel like they're getting accustomed to what is coming. And, hopefully we can go out and play really well. So, again, we got a few more weeks till they all matter. And, I think we're just trying to stress the urgency and get guys to really understand what we're getting into and what it takes to prepare and go out and play consistently every single week. So it should be a great test.
Is there excitement or is there anxiousness because kind of starting that installment, but at the same time you say, well, the season's just a couple of weeks away also, and if we're not ready, where are we?
I think there's, we're all attention's divided in a little bit, from the coaches to the players, and us trying to, obviously get ready for the regular season, but still get ready for the opponent that we're playing, and we're practicing against each other, and then some periods we're practicing for Carolina. Some we're just focusing on individual things that are going to help us over the course of the year. So it's just a lot of things happening. We're trying to prepare for a lot of things. But that's kind of typical this time of year. And if you've been through it, hopefully you've been able to adjust. So there's just a lot happening here shortly, and I think we got to be as prepared as possible to be ready to go. For our opener, that's what it's all about, getting ready for that game.
You said on the radio yesterday you felt like against the Eagles there was a little bit of rust, even if it maybe didn't look that way.
Yep.
Is that normal for you this time of year? Do you feel like you are where you typically are through 2 weeks of the preseason right now?
Yeah, I think the thing when you get into games is just the timing is different because, they can actually hit you. And in practice, the rushers come and they stop. So you get a false sense of security of how long you can hold on to the ball. And, when they don't stop, you got to get rid of the ball quicker. You got to make faster decisions. Your footwork has to be better. Your pre-snap reads have to be better. So all those things time up. And, I like to be someone that can, really anticipate things and, be really efficient with what I'm doing. And the more time you have actually doing it, the better. And there's only one way to simulate it, that's to play. So when you get out there and play, you take advantage of the experience. And I've also had a lot of games and a lot of experience doing it. So naturally it comes back relatively quickly. But I think it's still really important to get out there and feel it and do it. And not too many players I've ever played with that can just seamlessly go out there and, like they never left. But there's been a couple. But I feel like I get out there and play a little bit and feel the timing and try to really get up to game speed as best as possible.
It might be hard to compare years, but do you go into last week knowing it would feel a little bit rusty, or do you expect to feel that way, or when you leave the game say, okay, that was about what I was thinking it would look like?
Yeah, I think it's definitely, I've had that experience a lot too, It's just, again, you don't get hit for 6 or 7 months. A lot of the times the way to prepare for it is to actually do it. And, just not having the chance to do it, you get rusty. And I think you got to figure out how to get that stuff and shake that off, and then, be as prepared as possible for when they count for real.
I know that, Tom, you mentioned the idea of very few guys can step on the field, and after having not done it for a while. So with Kenny Britt, I think a lot of people assumed he would play a big role, hasn't really been able to be out there. Is that concerning to you, that you haven't really got the kind of reps you need to get with him, 7-on-7, 11-on-11?
I think it's just different stages at different times. I mean, whether it's Kenny or other players, you have setbacks with injuries and so forth, and you don't get to work. But when you are out there, you just try to get up to speed as best you can. So spending extra time when you're available, I think that's important. Kenny was here at the end of last year, so had a lot of reps with him, and hopefully he can make the most of his opportunity. I think everyone's really trying to do that this time of year. Is whatever chance they get, you got to go out there and you got to show something. You got to really show to the coaches, to the personnel people that you can be dependable and trusted, and you can get out there and make the plays that are going to help us win.
Were you in chemistry with him when he's not on the field, though? Can you do that in the meeting room?
Yeah, definitely. And I said, everything's really important. I think gaining trust in people is more than just about being on the field. It's attitude in the morning in the weight room. Anytime we're interacting in the locker room, whether you're involved or not involved, I mean, what kind of conversations people are having, and how important football is and how important it is to making that a big part of your life. And I think those coaches are judging all the players on that all the time. And everyone's putting a lot into it. And, if we want to get a lot out of it, that's what we have to do.
Following up on that trust question, yesterday I spoke with Chris Hogan. He said that's an ongoing process, building trust within you and you building trust within him and other receivers. Yep. And he said it kind of restarts every year. Do you feel like every year you have to restart on building that trust with receivers or whoever it may be?
I think so. I mean, yes and no. It doesn't magically happen, I know that. But at the same time, when you play with guys for a long period of time, I think the body language, kind of things that they may do really well, things they may do maybe not as well. The coaches have those things too. So the experience you have with certain players, I think, is very helpful. But at the same time, I don't think you take it for granted. And you got to get out there and practice it. You got to see, and gain that daily trust. And big part of it is things change over the course of an off season. They change over the course of a season, game plan, new routes, new schemes, new matchups. And you got to go out there and show it on the practice field so that we can all gain trust in each other.
What's your final questions?
Were you able to work with Kenny at all during the offseason?
Was I able to work there?
Were you able to kind of spend some time working with him?
I wasn't here in off season.
What?
I wasn't here in off season.
Outside of the facility at all?
No, I wasn't here.
Road routine, like every year it's different, but now you're going on the road for the first time. Do you have to kind of get used to a new road routine that you got to get used to?
It's pretty similar. I think the way we've done it has been pretty similar over the years. So it's just been kind of, you see the schedule and the timing of things. But it'll come back pretty quickly. I'm glad we got 2 games under our belt, but both have been at home, and it's definitely the travel and so forth. And it's always nice going away. I feel like we're kind of all going to accomplish something, and we're really focused. There's no distractions. It's all about playing a football game and trying to take another step that we need to take in order for us to be prepared for the opener. So, thank you guys.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Jim, thanks, bud.